Another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're watching the Big Man Theory. This is a 9th episode of the 8th season. Hope you guys have been enjoying it so far. If you'd like to watch today's full episode, it is available for a link in the description below. Just click in it, put the password in, and enjoy. I'm on a roll today. This is our 4th episode, 2 hours in, loving it, having a great time. Honestly, nothing better than getting stuck in and having a little marathon, and this will be probably the last one of the day, but I'm excited for today's episode because last episode, for example, was a really surprising one. You know, it's a surprise prom. The girls, he was talking about how, you know, some of them have never really been and experienced it properly, and obviously Penny was saying she's been to loads of them, and then he was talking to the guys, and they were saying that they, again, themselves didn't really attend, or when he did, he was on their own, and they decided, you know what, screw it. You know what I mean? We're all older. We've all not had these great experiences. We're with people that we love and enjoy. Like, why don't we actually just get together and create our own prom? So that's what they've done. Everybody dressed up. Everybody looked great. You know what I mean? The guys all look fancy and dapper in the suits. You know, the girls look beautiful, all dressed up, and, you know, the insinuation was from Penny and Leonard towards Sheldon is maybe they get lucky and have, you know, sex here and prom. Now, they never said that it's what you have to do. They was just saying that's quite a lot. What a lot of people do on prom nights, you know what I mean? They let loose and get crazy and be with the person that they want to be with. And when Sheldon did see Amy, she was looking really pretty as well. He was like, I can't do this, and he had to go back into his apartment and started having a panic attack. Now, she's coming, she's speaking to him, and she's like, wow, what's going on, and X, Y, and Z. And basically, he just explained that, look, you know, when I did see you, I did think you look beautiful, and then all these thoughts was coming into my head about obviously those guys saying that, and I was getting overwhelmed. And then, you know, Amy was like, look, you know, I just want to tell you something. You don't have to say it back, but she basically looked like she was going to say that she loves him. Do you know what I mean? But he blurted it out and said it first. I love you, Amy. Do you know what I mean? And she started having her own panic attack, and it was all crazy. And we had some interesting photographs at the end of the episode, obviously with them all on the roof. And it was just a good episode, to be honest. I really did enjoy it. And hopefully today's can be just as good. And obviously I'm excited to see the aftermath of the I love you and see if everybody else finds out that he's actually expressed those words. It's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. Thanks for checking out today's episode. If you do enjoy it, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into today's episode.
This is an easy one. You love this guy.
Me.
Come on. He's an underappreciated genius.
Still think it's me.
Now think, there's a car named after him.
The Mini Cooper, because it's me.
He's a poor man's Sheldon Cooper.
Oh, Tesla.
The doctor shoved a camera up into my sinuses.
Did they figure out what's wrong?
Yeah, it's a deviated septum. The surgery to correct it is simple. He's gonna do it next week.
You don't have a life-threatening condition. Why would you take the risk of surgery?
I've heard you complain about his snoring.
Well, yes, for the first 5 or 6 years, but I've gotten used to it. I believe it was your turn in the game.
Okay.
Oh, this person is most famous, ever living the rest of his life in the shadows as a hideous, disfigured freak. I'm not even sure if that's a person or a typo.
Okay, why?
He's going to miss it when it's gone.
I'm listening to you snore. I'm wondering how I'll ever sleep without it.
If it helps you sleep, then why are you sitting here staring at me like the albino boogeyman?
Leonard insults after I've spent 2 hours in your closet waiting for you to fall asleep.
What's your problem?
To be honest with you, Leonard, I'm truly worried. I've been doing some research, and I've learned that 1 in 700,000 people die from general anesthesia.
Buddy, do you realize that that also means 699,999 people don't?
You're such a glass half full kind of guy. I'm going to miss that.
Parents' 40th anniversary is coming up, and I can't think of a thing to get them.
Damn, can you imagine being married to someone for 40 years?
Not anymore.
They used to like going to the Mumbai Symphony, but last year my mom thought they were phoning it in. Then my dad said based on their love life, she should know about phoning it in. Maybe I could make a gift for them. I know how much you guys love the coasters I made for you.
To be fair, my sister got me coasters for my house. You know, I had one of me and the girlfriend, one of me and the dog, one of her dad, and one of the family. Like, and we just have them dashed around. I actually think that is a pretty good one.
Remember when I said if you went through with your surgery, there was a 1 in 700,000 chance of dying? Well, I've been crunching the number, and so far, I've gotten your probability of death all the way to a sphincter tightening 1 in 300. What if you have an allergic reaction to the surgeon's latex gloves?
I'm not allergic to latex.
Then why don't you wear the rubber gloves I bought for you to do the dishes?
For the same reason I don't wear the apron or the hairnet.
Carotid artery is just one shaky scalpel away from becoming the dancing fountain at Disneyland.
Buddy, I get that you're worried about me, and I appreciate that, but I'm not going to die.
You know who else said that? Every cocky T-Rex currently swimming around in the gas tank of your car.
Of course. Yes, I'll call you tomorrow.
So, I found this fencing school in Burbank that has a Jedi class.
I feel like his mum and dad are breaking up.
Dude, my parents just split up.
What?
Ah, mate, I felt it.
My dad on the phone, he moved out. Not that big a deal. As long as they're happy, I'm happy.
You sure you're okay?
How can I be okay? I come from a broken home.
It is true though, mate. They would be upsetting.
I should be out of surgery by 10.
And Sheldon really believes we're at a public swimming pool?
He was so busy figuring out how many parts per million of urine we'd be floating around in, he didn't even question it.
Leonard never lets me have French toast sticks in the car. I can't have syrupy fingers, but he can do the backstroke in a toilet bowl.
It's nice they're getting exercise.
Leonard would never go swimming in public without his swim shirt.
Finish your breakfast. Look, there's an entire section of my dashboard that doesn't have any syrup on it.
You're acting odd. Why?
I'm on all the time. Everyone knows that.
What's going on?
All right. An earlier appointment opened up for Leonard, and he's getting the surgery right now. Just go to work. He'll be fine.
Amy, he's my best friend. And if you don't take me, I'm going there anyway. And I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if something happened to him and I wasn't at his bedside to say I told you so.
We had a really nice swim.
Oh, stop it. I assume this medical center's already treated the burns on your bottom from the recent pants fire.
I lie pants on
That's
fire.
liar, liar.
That's for the fire marshal to determine.
Come on, let's talk about something other than the surgery.
Penny, did you and Leonard ever discuss funeral arrangements?
I think she meant something a little happier.
I suppose we could try to make it a celebration. But he died so young.
No, alright, we've never really focused in on it. Obviously, they have been engaged. Was it last season now? Why did we go through so many episodes? I can't remember. I'm thinking it's the end of last season. Maybe 23. I don't think it was the last episode, but it was close to the last episode. And we've never really dived in and looked at a ring, but every time I see it kind of on a hand, I think, that looks pretty big, that. Like, it looks sparkly. Like, is that a real engagement ring in real life? Or, like, is it part of the show? I don't know, but it looks like there's a hefty wage being set on that because it looks big and shiny.
Hi.
Hey, what brings you guys by?
Oh, nothing much. He's just not laughing because he's feeling a blueberry.
How you doing?
Better. I guess the news just hit me a lot harder than I expected.
Worse, I would be devastated if my parents split up.
Why? Your father barely speaks to your mother.
Well, at least he's stuck around, not like your dad who just took off.
I think over time they started to resent each other, and instead of talking about the things that bothered them, they kept it bottled up, and the hate just grew.
You got him that.
Oh, this isn't for Leonard. Amy bought it for me.
Stubbed his toe on the revolving door on the way in.
You know those confounded things make me dizzy. There was a large plant in the lobby. It kept looking like the outside.
This is like the man in the supermarket with the goiter on his neck. Whatever you're thinking, just keep it to yourself.
It was like a grapefruit. Not only did Leonard take what I feel is an unnecessary risk, he deceived me.
Okay, the reason he deceived you is you were being a pain in the ass.
But the reason I was being a pain in the bee is because I was worried about him and no one else was. It's an earthquake. I knew it.
Sheldon, it's just a little tremor.
A little tremor that turns routine sinus surgery into a frontal lobotomy. I don't care for this at all. I need to see he's okay.
Can't go back there.
Try and stop me.
Oh.
Why didn't you stop me?
With Raj's parents, just got me a little worried about us.
Fine. And Raj's parents probably split up because of Raj.
Joking, Howie. You heard what he said about his parents. It was the little things they kept bottled up. I don't want that to happen to us. Is there anything about me you're keeping inside?
I'm not answering that. It's a trap.
There are things you don't like.
And here I am in the trap.
Just tell me one thing that bothers you, and I promise I won't get mad.
Sometimes you're too beautiful. Really don't like how your wings poke me when we sleep because you're an angel. There are ways to improve our communication. One thing I learned when I was in couples therapy was...
Who were you in couples therapy with? Was it your mom?
Not important. Anyway, the therapist had us tell each other what we loved about one another. I love that you're strong and independent.
And yet, I still love when you hold a door for me.
I love that I'm kind of a slob around here, and you're okay with that.
And I love that I work and do all the cleaning, and you're okay with that.
Isn't this great?
That's where like they had to say like one thing that they dislike about each other. Now, dislike is a kind of strong word, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And you could say improvement. So like he could, like, if you was doing that situation, you could say things that I think we can improve on the relationship is, how would you give a little bit more input in the cleaning aspects of the house so that I don't have to do as much when I come home from work, because obviously I've had a tired and long day, do you know what I mean? And I don't want to come home every single day and spend hours doing the cleaning. Or I could do the cleaning and you could do the cooking. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not saying that he dislikes something about Howard. That's just saying something that could improve to make the relationship a bit more happier. Because let's be honest, if you're going to work and then coming home and then you're doing the cleaning and you're doing the cooking whilst the other person hasn't really done much, then although it's not like something that they've done that's annoyed you, it's the fact that you've got to do multiple things can kind of affect your mood, which then can result in you being grumpy than you would have been with the other person, which then could obviously lead to an argument or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So it's more like if we do an equal amount of input, there's less likely amount of stress, which means that we're all likely amount of having a good time together.
You know, this is all your fault. I told you not to get the surgery.
Okay, first of all, the surgery was a success.
I don't know which hurts worse, my nose or my heart.
We're worried about nothing.
Oh, you're hardly out of the woods. You still run the risk of infection, a blood clot.
You were so panicked Leonard was gonna die, you'll never leave him.
Sheldon will move out eventually.
Yeah, once he figures out how to work a door.
You were so worried that you smashed your face trying to check on me. You love me.
I love that you take pride in your looks. Even when I have to pee in the morning and you're in there spending an hour on your hair.
And I love how your hair is always on the soap. It's like washing myself with a hamster.
I was on the phone with my mother.
How is she?
Pretty good. She bought the book Eat, Pray, Love and used it to set my father's Mercedes on fire.
We're just saying all the things we love about each other.
Oh, like you and I did at couples therapy.
I ordered it before your surgery. It's the urn I was going to put you in. Here lie the ashes of Leonard Hofstetter. He thought he was right, but his roommate knew better.
Hey, why did you get two? I was stupid.
Oh, that one's mine.
That's actually really good. I mean, it is kind of morbid talking about death, innit? Honestly, it really is. Do you know what, right? I think I actually watched something on YouTube or maybe TikTok or something about some old woman who actually has already ordered her urn as well. And, like, people are like, mate, that's kind of deep, isn't it? You know, because she's, like, in her 80s and she's like, look, you know, people moan about death and all that, but, like, obviously I'm going to die some point probably in the next 10 years, and why not choose something that I want to spend the rest of my time in that you know, that makes me happy? And it was an urn with like loads of flowers and like the sunset on it and all that. And she was like, look, mate, you know, if I'm alive right now, I might as well have a choice at something that is gonna, you know, that I'm gonna be resting in and brings me happiness, and this is what it is. So I had to think, you know what, it's actually kind of clever that, and those urns there perfectly kind of fit that their relationship, to be honest, don't they? Now, interestingly, obviously, Howard and Bernadette was going back and forth, you know, thinking about their relationship in the aspects of Raj and his mum, Raj's mum and dad, breaking up, and to be honest, they never really looked like they was into each other anyway. Oh, it was the fact that like him and his dad and his mum always kind of like slagged each other off, mainly to my knowledge at the top of my head off the click of my finger. It sounded like his dad was more of a hostility towards his mum, always kind of complaining and saying things and doing stuff like that. So if you think about being in a relationship and you've got one side always making jokes or making fun or even just, you know, saying negative things about it all the time, to the last 40 years anyway as being together, it is a very long time, isn't it? So you've got to say fair play for holding it out for that long, but at the end of the day, it's all about being happy in it, you know. It must be hard to be in a relationship with somebody for 5-10 years or whatever and break up, especially, you know, if you're going into the 20, 30, 40s, that's even worse. But, like, realising it's a time to call it a day must be so solid, considering all the memories and all the time that you've put into each other. But you've also got to think that life's all about happiness, and you know, if you're not actually getting it no more, it's like, for example, you've got a car, you know, you absolutely love it, it's the best sliced bread in the world, do you know what I mean? And then 5 years down the line, you're like no longer feeling it. Do you know what I mean? It's time to get a new one. And I'm not saying that you could do that in relationships, but what I mean is in real life, if you've got something that brings you so much happiness, and then in the end when it stops, you move on. And if you was in a relationship, the whole point about being in a relationship is to have continuous happiness for the rest of your life together. You know what I mean? If you marry somebody, your wife or your husband, you want from the minute you're married until the minute you die, that whole time there is being the best time that you've ever spent with anybody. You don't want years where you absolutely don't want to speak to them, you hate them, you don't want to be around them, and just be there because that's my wife. You know, you actually want every day to be fun and happy, and if that's not happening, that's when you got to look at it. So it is deep, and it's obviously these two bouncing back and forth stuff that they love about each other. But it is interesting, and obviously I do think they're good, and I don't feel like these will end up breaking up, but I do feel like sometimes it is right and good for a healthy relationship to sit down and be open about stuff that you love and stuff that you can improve on to keep your relationship strong. That is going to wrap up today's episode. Thanks so much for checking out the channel today. Hope the guys enjoyed it. So Howard and obviously what is it now, Raj was talking about being in couples therapy a minute ago, and you know, it's kind of insinuated that it was Howard and his mum earlier on in the episode, and I've always wondered, like, you know, I think therapy, and for the majority, most people come out of it and say, like, it works wonders, you know what I mean? I've actually got a friend who actually moved to Australia last year or the year before, and his partner actually posted on social media as of recently by basically saying, like, you know, it was really hard to move away and he was struggling, you know what I mean? But, like, he's been to therapy, he'd recommend this person, it's 10 out of 10, it's made his life so much easier, and I was like, you know what, it's really interesting, because, like, I never felt the need to ever go to therapy or something, but I've like recently just watched Lucifer with my girlfriend again, you know, because she'd never seen it. And obviously Lucifer's all the time there with Linda and he's talking, and then everybody else dips in, Maze, and obviously, you know, even comes in a bit, and Chloe's there, and they're all talking to her, and they all seem to like improve, and it helps them. And I'm always like, I wonder if, you know, somebody like myself who thinks that I don't need therapy and my life's okay, you know what I mean? Like, usually people go when they've got to get something off the chest, or they feel a weight on the shoulders or something like that. Whether if I could just turn up to therapy session and say, look, you know, can we have a chat? And see if they can actually deep into me and open up and see if they can find something that can help me better myself. I'd be really fascinated to see, you know, if it's only people that are actually going through something that therapy benefits, or somebody who actually doesn't even need to know that, like myself, that I'd need to actually speak to anybody. But if it did benefit me, it would actually be exciting to see. That's something that I've always been interested in, but also I think it's really expensive as well. So, like, unless I actually need it, I wouldn't be going. But in general, you know, the episode again was another fun one. I feel like today and this season has been a pretty consistent one. You know, I like the fact how Sheldon was obviously worried about his best mate, Leonard. You know, he's going through a procedure, a routine one, and obviously there's still always a chance that something can kind of go wrong. You know what I mean? He could tell that he was really worried about it. It's about his snoring. Now, I mean, I don't know if you know anything about snoring and partners, but my girlfriend snores, mate. And that actually, I'm not even that bothered about it. It doesn't really put me off and stuff. But, like, sometimes, you know, she could be watching TV, and if she falls asleep, yeah, like, head cocked back and back forward again. I'm like, oh, you know, time to go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, literally, sometimes when they're snoring, it's so loud. I always think to myself, how do you not wake yourself up with that loudness of snore? Do you know what I mean? Like, I never get it. Now, I don't snore, and I've actually been told I don't, which is a good thing. But I'm such a light sleeper, honestly. Any little noise wakes me up. So, I mean, this procedure would sound advantageous, but, you know, I would never force anybody to do anything. And obviously, you know, it always comes with potential side effects. And it's just good to see how much Sheldon's kind of opened up ever since the first season up until this point. You know, last episode telling Amy he loves her. Obviously, a few seasons in now, having Amy as his girlfriend, expressing his emotions, and, you know, even picking up the fact that people are making fun and jokes and, do you know what I mean, sarcastic comments. And him even cracking his own and saying Bazinga, which you've not seen in a while. But, like, his personality is always kind of improving and opening up and expanding. And it's good today as well. Like I said, as last telling Amy he loved her, but today he's showing his concern for for Leonard. Just shows how much he's changed and progressed as a character. It's nice to see. But thanks for checking out today's episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please smash a like, really helps out. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.